Okay, friends, good afternoon. So we have some time. So meanwhile, let we have one query over here that assignment drawing 3, 4, and 5 how to create. So let me check that. Meanwhile, then we will continue our session. Okay. So here I am sharing you my screen. I hope my voice is audible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Yes,
this
sir.
AutoCAD screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And one more screen, our assignment screen. Yes, here. So this is our assignment, right? In the first assignment, we can create easily this object with the help of our direct method. We also able to create this object. Then for this, let me try this one. So we have a circle over here and one circle over here. So first of all, we will create a 6 mm line. So we will get the center of this both circle. Then we will create one circle of radius 2 and one circle of radius 1. Okay. So first we need to plan everything, how we will draw this thing. So here is our AutoCAD screen. First of all, one line. Turn on your ortho mode and type 6. So we have 6 mm line over here, which is enough. Now circle, C, enter. Over here we want 1 mm radius circle, again circle, and here 2 mm. Then we have a offset of 0.2 mm inside for the both circle. So let's say offset O, enter, value will be 0.2, enter, this circle inside and this circle also inside. Clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have to use one option from our object snap. See, in our object snap you will find one option, that is tangent. So you have to turn on this option first, because we have to create a tangent line, right? So you just turn on this tangent option, then draw one line, L, enter. Try to create line from here, then make sure your tangent relation is there. See, this is tangent. So this line is tangent over here but not over here. So again come back and you will get a tangent point. Sorry. So we have created two lines over here. Remove this first line. So this second line is almost tangent with both the circle, right? Similarly, again I am showing you on the bottom side line. I am starting my line from this quadrant point and going to create a tangent line with this circle. See this tangent relation we have. Then again come back and create a tangent with this curve. So this new line, this one is almost tangent with both the circle. Remove your older line. And now we don't need this center line, and use your trim tool, TR, enter, and this circle and this circle. So I hope it is clear now how to create this.
Yes, sir. So one more thing. When
Yes.
we put a line and we put 5 as a measurement, so in my it's coming very short. Like the image is short, I have to zoom it with my scroll.
Okay. Actually, I'm not getting you properly. What's your question?
Sir, when I am drawing some this diagram, then when I putting any measurement, so in that the drawing is very small. Like on my AutoCAD, the drawing is going very small.
Okay, okay. Like this. See, like this. When you are placing your dimensions, you are talking about this thing, right?
Yeah, this thing, sir, this is coming very big.
Yeah. So for that, actually we haven't learned this thing yet. That we will discuss. We will try to cover this thing in our today's session. Okay. So for that, you have to learn this dimension style. From the dimension style, you can manage your height, the arrow height, text height, and all the dimension text and all. Actually, we haven't covered this thing yet. We will cover this
Okay,
topic in our today's session or maybe in our next session.
okay, sir.
So
Sir,
now,
and one more thing,
yes.
when yeah, when we are drawing the first image on my
Hmm,
AutoCAD, when I put line command and then enter, then I put that number, the measurement, which is in mm.
hmm.
So when I put that and then press enter, the line which is on the screen is very small. Like I have to zoom it to make it big.
Yes, you have to because see, sometime what happen? Our AutoCAD viewport is actually infinite in length, right? So for
Okay,
example, by mistake you have zoomed out so much, you have zoomed out your screen. Now for example, I am creating a line over here of 100. See, this is my line of 100, but still it's too small because I have zoomed out very much.
okay,
So it's maybe done by you also. So I'm going to show you all the options. It's not a problem over there. You have to zoom in, you can. It's fine.
okay,
Adjust
sir.
your screen. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now you have any, will you try or you have any problem with this fourth one?
Yes, sir. I have done.
You have done? Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. Anyone?
Please explain this one also.
Okay. So let me create this one. So first of all, I will find out the center point of all this circle. See, everyone creates by their own method. I am using my own method. There are number of ways to create this object. Okay. So first of all, we are assuming that this circle is my center point, and then my next circle is 111.2 mm in horizontal and 50.4 mm in vertical. So I will find this center point first. So here 111.2, then this object is quite big, 50.4. Move, let me take a little inside. Okay. So 111.2 and 50.4. The diameter of this circle is 40 and diameter of this circle is 30.4. Okay, C, enter. From here, D for diameter 40 and the other one is 30.4. C, diameter 30.4. So we have done these two circles. Now erase this line. We don't need this. We just want to find the position. That's it. Now focus on the next circle. So from this circle, we have 145.6 in horizontal and 91.2 in vertical. So draw one line from the center point of this circle, 145.6. and 91.2. 91.2. And one more circle over here, and the diameter of that circle is 32. C, enter. From this point, D for diameter and 32 mm, enter. Then again remove this line, we don't need this. So we have three circle in their position. Now create these bigger circles. So we have radius 40, radius 30 and radius 30. Okay. C, enter. Over here 30 mm radius. Here we have 40 mm radius. And here we have 30 mm radius. Right? And now you have to create your arc. So for that you first of all try to find the tangent point if you can, but you can use this start and angle option also, start and radius option also. So first of all we need to find the point, this point, tangent point. So let me create one line and one more line which is perpendicular at here. Okay, so we will use this point, this crossing point. So arc, start and radius. This is my starting point, this will be my ending point. And what is radius? 300 mm. 300, but it appears in opposite side, so erase it. And again start and radius, starting point will be over here, ending point here, and 300 mm. So you have to switch your side. Then trim this portion. Okay, similarly we have to do over here, or we have other option also. Let me show you that. In the circle you will find that tangent radius circle, right, that we discuss. TTR, tangent radius. See circle, C, enter, and we have tangent and radius. So this time we will use that option to create a arc over here. So radius we have 200 and it's tangent with this arc and this arc. So C, enter, TTR, tangent with this circle, tangent with this circle, and radius is 200 mm. So you got a full circle, then trim it. So you can use this method also. This will be easier for you. So let me erase this and again use that method over here. C, enter, TTR, tangent with this circle, and radius is 300 mm. Now trim the rest portion. Here we have 114.1 circle, TTR, this one, 114.2. Trim this much. TR, enter, and trim these all things. So our object is ready. So clear it is?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any confusion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, just a minute. How to open the hidden toolbar in software? Okay. See, hidden toolbar means your ribbon bar. It's over here. Minimize and maximize ribbon bar. If you click over here, your ribbon bar will synchronize or compress and going to hide. Again click on that, your ribbon bar will be maximize again. So I hope now you all are clear. So let we continue our today's session.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, can you please explain that tangent thing again in third drawing?
In third drawing over here. Okay. See, we are creating a tangent line for this both inner circle. Okay. So draw one line. Make sure in your object snap your tangent option is on. Okay. Because we are going to use this tangent snap. Then start your line from the closest position of your circle. For example, from here. Okay. And go to the other circle and create a tangent. Find this tangent point. So this is tangent point. Then again go back and find the tangent point for this circle also. So here we have tangent point. So this new line is tangent with the both circle, right? With minimum error. So erase your previous line, erase it, and this new line is a tangent with both the circle. Okay. So let we continue our session. In our last session, we discussed all the object creation tool, and also I have given you an overview of object modification tool. How to use move, copy, rotate, scale, all the object modification tool that we already discussed. But today we will discuss that tool in detail. So first of all, I'm creating one line over here of 100 mm and one rectangle at the rate 25 comma 30. So I am using the relative method over here. This is my first point. Then second point I want in x 25 and in y 30. So at the rate 25 comma 30. Enter. So this is my 25 by 30 rectangle. So first of all, in our modification tool, we have move. So type M, enter. Then you have to select your object. So select, enter, base point. So this is my base point. Then direction and your value. For example, 50. So our object will going to translate, will going to transform in that direction. Again, Control Z. Similarly, if you use CO, enter. So copy, select your object, enter, and base point. So process for all the modification tool are same. Give the direction and value 50, enter. But this copy command is still active. See, we can provide the new value also. For example, 100, 120. So our copies are keep going. Right? Press escape to finish this command. Now, what if I just want only one copy? Hello?
Video is not clear, sir.
What?
Video is not clear, sir.
Video is not clear?
No, yes.
Okay. So again, let me discuss this copy tool in depth. So first we are able to create a multiple copy. Now what if I just want a single copy? So CO, enter, select your object, enter. And now we have one option over here, which is mode. So in the mode, we have two options, single and multiple. If you have selected a single over here, then after one copy, see base point, direction and value 50. So after a single copy, your command will automatically close. If you want one more copy, you have to active this command again. But if you want a multiple copy, then CO, enter, select your object, not both, only this rectangle, enter, and go to the mode and select the multiple, or you can choose multiple from here also. So if there is selected single inside the mode, then multiple tool will be also available in our panel. So you can use anyone. But for example, I want a multiple copy at particular interval, right? So this time I am providing base point. Then we have one more option. See, array. So go to the array, and here I am typing my number of items, say 5. I want 5 copies. Enter, and then you have to specify a gap between two objects. So here 50. Enter. So here we have only 4 copies. See, 5 items we have entered. That means that 5 items also includes our source object. So total item we have 5. Again, CO, enter, select object, enter, base point. Then we have array option. So go to the array, then enter number of items to array, including your source object. So for example, we enter 7, then hit enter. So we have 7 copies over here, but we are specifying a gap between two objects. For example, I want to give a dimension from my first object to the last object. I want to specify the overall dimension. So for that we have one more option over here, that is fit. So click on fit. So now he will ask us a gap between first and last object, and all the object inside that will equally distributed. So I am here specifying 300. So 300 is the gap between first object to the last object, and the rest of the copies are equally distributed in between. So clear about this both option? Then next we have a rotation tool. So you can use that tool for the rotation purpose. Let me turn off this ortho mode. Arrow, enter, select your object, enter, and your base point selection is very important over here. See, whatever point you are going to specify as a base point, for example, I am specifying this point. So our object will rotate around that point. So your base point is very important in your rotation selection. So arrow, enter, select, enter, and I am specifying base point over here. So it is rotating like this. We have also couple of options over here. You can specify rotation angle also. But before we specify rotation angle, I am clicking on this copy button. So click on the copy. So what will happen? Our main object will be there. And when we provide an angle over here, let's say 45, enter. So a new copy of that rectangle will be created. So you can create a copy while you are rotating. Again, arrow, enter, select object, enter. Then we have base point. Then here we have option for copy and reference. So click on copy, and then you are able to create a copy of that rectangle. So clear? One more option we have reference. So for example, I don't know this angle. right? But I want to rotate this rectangle at such an angle that my this bottom line is going to parallel with this line. Listen to me carefully. My requirement is I want my this bottom line must be parallel with this line. So what I have to do, I have to measure this angle. For example, it's angle alpha. Then I have to measure this angle. For example, this is beta. Then I can rotate this rectangle with the angle alpha plus beta. So that will be my final rotation angle. But I don't know my first angle and I also don't know my second angle, right? So we can use a reference method over here. See, arrow, enter, select your object, enter and base point. Up to this point it's simple, right? Then we have reference. So for the reference, which angle you want to compare, you have to select over here or you have to specify. But I don't know this angle, actually I don't know. So what I will do, I will use reference points. So click 2 points of your line. So by these 2 points, it will automatically calculate that angle by the AutoCAD. Again, now what angle I want to provide? My new angle. So again, I don't know that angle also. So what I will use? I will use points option over here. So click on points and click 2 points of your new line. So now this line and this line are parallel and this object is rotated. Again, arrow, enter, select object, enter and base point. Then reference point. First select your reference object, then click on points option, then click on the other object which you want to compare. So these both lines now parallel lines. So clear up to this point, or still you have any confusion in rotation tool?
No, sir.
Okay. And next tool we have is scale.
Okay, sir.
So scale, we can use this scale tool to enlarge or compress our object. So to scale it up or scale it down. Say this one is zoom in and zoom out that we use with the we do with the mouse button, right? This is our zoom in and zoom out. This is not scaling. That's why I have created one object over here. For example, I want to scale this object 2 times. So what will happen? SC, enter. SC is the shortcut for scale. SC, enter, select object, enter and your base point. So up to this point it's almost similar with the other tool. Now specify your scale factor. Let's say 2. So what will happen? It will multiply all the dimensions and all the values with the 2 and a new output will be there. So here we have 25 mm. So this 25 becomes 50 and this 30 becomes 60 mm. So our new output or our new rectangle is 50 by 60. We have same options in the scale. SC, enter, select object, enter, base point. We have copy option. Now type 2. So this is our copy of 2 times scale. So you can use copy. Also we have reference option. So with the reference, if you want to scale, for example, for the reference, let me create one line over here. Okay. So I want to scale this small rectangle with, I want to scale it up that much I want to scale it up so that my this bottom line becomes equal with this line. So the value, the dimension of this line and this line should be equal. So I want to scale it up. by that scale factor. So I don't know the scale factor. So you can use reference method over here like rotate tool. SC, enter, select, enter and base point. Up to this it's almost similar, right? Then choose your reference, select 2 points of your object's line that you want to compare, then click on points and select 2 points of your reference object. So this object is scaled up, and now if you measure the dimension of this line, so it will be equal with this line. Let me show you. From this point to this point, and it's a 35.3, and this line is also 35.3, right? So these are the modifiers: move, copy, rotate and scale. And last we discuss about offset. So O, enter. In the offset you have to specify value first. At what value you want your offset. Let's say 10, enter. So this is your offset, right? So in the offset you have to specify your value first. Then next we discuss about trim and extend tool. I think let me do a quick revision of that tool also. So with the help of trim, you can trim your intersecting object. Okay. So TR, enter. First selection will be your reference selection. So for example, I am selecting this line. This is my trim tool, my trimming object. Enter, and then select the other line which is passing from this line. So it will be trimmed. See, click on this one. So this line is trimmed by this line. So we are only able to trim only this 3 line because my trim tool is passing from that 3 line only. But for that I have tell you that TR, enter, trim, enter and again enter. So again enter, what will we do with the again enter? It will select all. So enter, that means now all the objects are our trim tool. So when we select any object, it will trim up to the next position. See, this one up to this point, this one again up to this point. Right? So this is our trim. Then opposite we have extend. EX, enter, enter. So for the trim and for the extend, you have to use twice enter. Then you can extend your object like this. Right? And these both tool are that we are going to use frequently because it's a very necessary tool. Okay, next we are going to discuss our new topics, that is text, dimensions and hatches. So let me begin with the text. To create any kind of drawing, we have to place a text over here. And to place our text, we have two types of text in AutoCAD. First is simple text and second one is multi-text. So for the simple text, we have a short key DT. Type DT, enter, then specify start point. So for example, I want to place my text here. So this is my start point. Then my text height, let's say 10, enter. Then rotation angle 0, it is fine. And now you can type whatever you want. Press enter and again type, again enter, again you can type. But once you provide a twice enter, 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 so your command is going to finish, right? And again we are going to perform a multi-text over here. So this is another type of text that available in AutoCAD. So the shortcut for multi-text is simple T, or you can type MT. Okay, and here you have to create one box like this, and this is our arrangement of multi-text. Over here you can type everything, and you can provide as many enter as you want. We do not have that type of restriction over here, right? Now also we have so many options over here. So go to the more editor setting, and here you will get a show toolbar button. So this is our text formatting toolbar, and whatever options are available over here are also available in this ribbon. But I hope this arrangement is much familiar for you because you are using WordPad, right? And this arrangement is look like a WordPad environment. So just select your text, and you can change your text style, you can change your text height, you can bold it, you can italic, middle line, underline, overline. So all the options we have like we do in our Word or WordPad, Microsoft Word in that software. Then also we have stack button. That means, for example, you have written over here like A by B. So if you want to place this value in mathematical form, so select it and use this stack button like this, right? So you can annotate it like this. Also we have a text arrangement. So the environment to operate this text is almost similar with the Word environment, Microsoft Word. Just select each and everything, and you can provide the alignment also, middle, center, right, or distribute we have. So these are the arrangement we have. Then line spacing we have, numberings also we have. If you want to number in lowercase or in uppercase or with numeric value numbering, or you can provide bullets also. So these are also available. Then we have field over here. You can convert your lowercase into uppercase with the help of this uppercase button. Also provide so all the options we have like x square. So let me take this 2 and put it on the top like this. So this is our x square, right? Also we have symbols in our multi-text. So go to the symbols. Here we have a symbol for degree, then we have plus or minus symbol, then we have diameter symbol, and all the other symbol that we use in electrical and our mathematics like omega, then delta we have. So these are the symbols also available in multi-text. So this is the arrangement of multi-text. To finish this multi-text toolbar, you have to press OK button or Control Enter. Okay. So now the main difference between your simple text and multi-text. Your simple text, your all lines are separate over here. See the selection. I'm selecting all these individual line. For example, I want to move this good afternoon. So you can move it easily because it's separate from the others. So whenever you press enter in your simple text, it will create a new text, a separate text. But in multi-text, our all texts are linked, connected. So this is like a paragraph, right? So we are not able to move this good. It come with all the other text. So that's the first difference. Second difference, we are not able to change the text style, text height, and other things. We have a facility to change the text style, bold, italic, underline, so other things we have, right? And also colors and all. So in the multi-text, you are getting more flexibility compared to the simple text. Now, how to we are also able to provide some text style and colors and text height and all to this simple text also. For that, we have to create a text style. I hope you all are clear up to this text style. Sorry, text button, simple text and multi text. Clear up to this point? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, good. See, if you have any queries, then immediately ask me. Okay. Now let me create
Yes,
some
sir.
text style. So with the help of text style, we are also able to provide some different text style to this simple text. So for that, type ST. ST is the short key for text style. So you have to remember this thing like style text. ST. Okay. Type ST, enter. And here we have text style dialog box. We are going to create a new text style, name it whatever you want, let's say style 1. Okay, and in this style I want a text format like Times New Roman. Here we have, then it should be bold and italic. Then I want to specify height 15, it is fixed. Also we have a couple of options over here that we can place this text upside down, so preview will be like this. See, if you want to write that ambulance, then you can use this backward button, so it will write like this. So it's a mirror effect, right? You can type backward also. Then click on set as current, select this style one and set as current, yes, and close. So now press DT, enter. So here he just ask rotation angle because the height we have provided 15 mm. So rotation angle is also 0, and here I am typing. So the see the textile is in Times New Roman, also bold with italic. But still we have one freedom over here. When we press enter, this it will create a new text over here. So as you all can see, this text is also separate, this is also a separate text, and this is also a separate text. Now let me discuss the uh, justification of this text. So for that we have one line over here of 100 mm. Now mainly we have 9 types of justification. Whenever we type any text, for example, let me explain you over here. See, all these intersecting points are known as justification point, and we have total 9 type of justification. See, these are the justifications we have. Whenever we say I want a text with top left justification, right? So our text will be below that point. Focus only on this point. This is our top left point, and this is our preview of text. So our text is below this point and on the right side from this point, right? So that is our top left justification. For example, I say that I want a text with middle right justification. So which one is the middle right point? So middle right point is over here. So how where is my text? So my text is on left side and it is in the center from this point. Vertically it's a center and horizontally it's on left side, right? So in this way, this justification, 9 justification we have. So here I'm going to show you these justifications. So dt, enter. Here we have first justification and here we have that 9 justification: TL, TC, TR, ML, MC, MR, BL, BC and BR. Let me take TL, that means top left. So see, this is our point. Over here he is asking us specify top left point. I am specifying this midpoint. See, I am specifying this midpoint over here and enter, and I am typing over here something. So I hope you get my point. We specified this point and my text is below this line and on the right side as I discuss over here. This is my top left point and our text is below that line, and from this point it's in the right side. Okay, again we will use same point. So again dt, justification, but this time let's say middle right, that we discuss about this point, right? Middle right, and I am specifying middle right point as a this point. This is my middle right point, and now angle is 0. Type your text. So as you can see, our text is going on the left direction, and whatever point that we have specified is our center point. So it's a middle center alignment. So in this way we have total 9 justification dt. Let me discuss one more justification. Let me take bottom center justification br, and we are going to specify this point. Angle is 0. So what will happen? Our text will be top of that point and will go in both direction. So it is going in left and right also. So it is going in both direction. So these are the justifications we have. Also some other justification, some useful justification. So again dt, go to the justification. Here we have some other, see, left, center and right. So these all three are our standard justification for the English language, and that is bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right, nothing else. Let me see. Left, this point, enter and type. So see, it will act as a bottom left justification. So this point, our text is on right side and on the top of that point. Similarly, we have center and right in DT, and also we have two more option, align and fit. This middle is nothing but middle center, this justification. So we have four justification in repeating condition over here. Now we are going to discuss about align and fit. These are also a very useful justification while creating any drawing. Sometimes it will happens that your text is not going to fit inside your bracket or inside your text box. So you need to compress it little bit if you want to stretch it little bit. So you can do easily with the help of this align and fit text. So first of all, we are going to discuss align text. So click on align. Here we have to specify 2 points, from where we want to start our text and from where we want to end our text. So I am creating one line over here. DT, enter, justification, align. This is my starting point and this is my ending point. So our text will always in between these 2 points, right? So here just start typing. So your text height will automatically decrease and increase like this. So you can type up to whatever you want to type, right? There is no limit. So your height will automatically adjust as you type your content. Your height will adjust automatically in align mode. Now what will happen in fit? See, DT, enter, justification, fit, and again we are going to specify 2 points, but this time our text height is fixed. See, our text height is 15 mm as we discussed in our text style. So here I am going to type, see, so our text is going to stretch and compress. Like this. So these are the two options that available only in simple text. These options are not available in multi-text, right? Align and fit. This is very useful tools, useful things, and that is only available in our simple text. So now we are using this text to create a proper drawing or to annotate everything, whatever notes you want to place in your drawing, whatever instructions you want to place in your drawing, you can place it with the help of text. Now let me discuss some other options in the text. So how to edit your text? Simply just double click your text and you are able to edit it. Okay, either it is a simple text or multi-text, that doesn't matter. Just double click on your text and you are able to edit it. One more thing, let me do mirror. See, I am doing mirror. So this is my mirror line. And how to do mirror? Mi, enter. So this is our mirror tool. Select your object, enter, and specify 2 points of your mirror line. So as you notice, our text justification is going to change, but text is not actually flipped. See, this is Autodesk, this is also Autodesk. Scicad Center, Scicad Center. So we are able to read this. So AutoCAD actually not going to mirror our text. Let me perform mirror operation to this object. Mi, enter, select this object, enter, and this is my mirror line. So as you all can see, we have a perfect mirror over here, see, but we have not the same result for the text. Why? Because AutoCAD knows that if we are going to mirror our text, we are not able to read that. But still, we have one option. For example, I want to mirror my text. That is only my requirement, right? I just want a mirror of my text. So we have one condition, and that condition is known as mirror text. MIRRTEXT. This is a condition. See, mirror text. Hit enter and specify a value over here 1. That means yes. Currently it is 0. See, in the bracket we have 0. That means no. And we are specifying value 1. So now mirror text value is 1. Now again try to mirror it. This is my mirror line, and MI enter, select your text, enter, and select your mirror line. So now this text is perfectly mirrored. Clear? Or have any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. And last tool about mirror is quit text. See, this quit text is also helpful
One
sometime.
thing.
Yes.
Sorry, Krishna. So there's one, we have put 1 for this mirror image. So again, when we'll do mirror, so it will be 0 or 1.
It
Or
will
we have to
remain
change
one.
it back to 0.
It will remain as it is until you change.
Okay.
It will remain one until you have to go to mirror text again, MIRRTEXT, and you have to zero it. It will not going to
Okay.
zero automatically. Right? So see, it is 1. We have to zero it again. 0, enter. Now that effect will not done in mirror. MI enter. See, we have same text. Just alignment is going to change. Any other question? Okay, now we have one last option for the tax, and that is quit tax. Now, for example, I'm going to represent one drawing in front of you. Let me open one. So for example, I'm going to represent this plan in front of you, right? And actually, I don't want to show you this text. This is my secret, right? So how we can hide each and every text at a time? So we have one option for that, and that is quit text. The short key for that is QTEXT, Q text. Type Q text, enter, and here we have option on or off. So this is also if and else statement. So quit text, let's say on, but this command will not affect automatically. See, we are clicking on button, but nothing is happen, right? So we have to regenerate our file, refresh our file, and to refresh your AutoCAD screen we have a tool, re enter, re, that means regenerate, enter. Now see, our all text is converted into a box. So these are the box. Now you are not able to read the text. Even this dimension text is also hidden. So in this way I can hide my all text at a time with a single tool. Again I want my all text back. So again go to the Q text, Q text, and off this thing. Again to apply this change we have to refresh it, RE enter, and everything is back. So this is also a very nice and useful tool. Sometimes it might helpful for you when you are presenting your drawing in front of others. So clear? Okay, good. So now our next tool is Hatch. So next we are going to discuss about Hatch tool. Hatch is a very useful tool to represent the cutting profile or section profile, and from civil side it is also helpful to fill up the areas, like this is my wall or floor area. If you want to fill up with some pattern you can use Hatch over there. So I'm going to create some rectangle over here. Change it back to the by layer. Copy. So we have couple of rectangles over here. Okay. And I want to fill some pattern inside this rectangle. So we have Hatch tool. Type H, enter, and here we have different types of pattern in the pattern. But I generally prefer this setting, and for the setting we have shortcut T. So type T, enter, and you will get all the options over here, H and gradient option. So here we have pattern. So go to the pattern. I have all the types of pattern we have. Select your pattern, okay, and go to the add pick points. And as you go inside a close area, it will automatically show us a preview. But for the preview, we must have a close area because H is applicable only in close area, right? So whatever close area we have, we can apply H. So this is H. We have many patterns, like if you want to draw a section profile, so section drawing if you have, and if you want to fill up that area whatever solid is going to cut or trim, so for that we have a mechanical pattern also. So go to the setting. I don't prefer these patterns, generally taking from here. We have everything in the setting. So go to the ANSI pattern. These ANSI patterns, these are the patterns for mechanical purpose that we generally use. So let we use this one. Type OK, and in this bracket, see, this is our section drawing. Let me discuss in detail Hatch tool. H, enter, T, enter, Hatch setting. And here I am going to choose one uneven pattern like this brick pattern. Hit OK, and to fill up in particular rectangle use this add pick points option, and selecting this rectangle, and as you all can see we are getting a completely white dialog box over here. That's due to scaling problem, because this pattern is from civil side, and our rectangle size is very tiny, very small. Let me scale it down. Okay, so I have scaled it down 0.03 times. So now it is proper. But if you noticed, see, our pattern starts with the half brick. See, these are the bricks for us. So our pattern start from the half brick, and we don't like that. I want a full brick over here at starting point, right? So that is our pattern's origin. So how to specify pattern's origin? So again, hatch setting. Here is our pattern. Here is the pattern color, and this is the scale value that we have provided. Angle also you can provide. Here is the hatch origin, our hatch center point or origin point. So it's using our current origin, but let me specify use default, and I want bottom left point. See, here we have option which point you want as a origin point. So we have bottom left, bottom right, top left, and center. So let me choose bottom left, and again add pick points, and on this enter. So now you notice that we have our first brick with the full. So our pattern is actually starting from here, right? That is not available in our last example. So I hope you get my point, how to create or how to specify the starting position of your pattern. Now we have couple of more option for the pattern. Let me create a multiple loop over here. Offset, let's say 30. So we have multiple loops over here. So for this type of arrangement, for example, you have one contour, then one more contour inside that, one more contour inside that. So this type of arrangement you have. So you can use hatch setting, and here we have in the islands option, we have three patterns for that. First one is the normal. Select on normal, go to the add pick points, and select your last boundary over here. So it will automatically detect all the boundaries. It will fill one boundary, blank one boundary, again fill one boundary, again one blank, and one will be filled up. So this is one pattern. Another one is hatch setting. Next option we have is outer. So in this case, only our outer boundary will be filled up. All the inside boundary will are ignored. And the last option we have is ignore. That means it will fill up the entire area inside that boundary, right? So these are the options we have for the island selection. Let me place a normal pattern over here. So type normal in the last boundary and it will automatically detect, right? Okay, now we have couple of options for the hatch. We have many types of controls, so let me discuss that now. Go to the hatch setting, and here in the options we have three options over here: annotative, associative, and create separate hatches. So let me begin with the bottom, create separate hatches. Turn off this option. Just focus on this last option, okay? Create separate hatches. We have turned off this option and going to fill up the hatch with this. Pick a internal point, selecting this area and this area. So I have selected this both area at a time and then hit enter. So this hatch command is finished. Again I'm typing hatch, h enter, setting T enter, and this time I'm going to turn on this hatch create separate hatches button. Click to add pick points and I'm selecting this area and this area and again enter. So what is the difference between this hatch and this hatch? These both hatch are also filled up at a time, and these both hatch are also filled up at a time. But this hatch is a single hatch and these both hatch are separate hatch. So that's the difference in create separate hatches. When you turn on your create separate hatch button, then you can fill up your hatch at multiple region at a time. Still your hatch will be separate. See, these both hatch are separate, but same thing over here, these both hatch are connected. So what will happen when I use move tool? I want to move this rectangle, so that hatch will also going to follow us. That's why we have to use create separate hatch button. That will not happen for this. See, this will not affect that geometry. Then next option we have is associate. So associate was closed for this one. Let we go to hatch setting and turn on this associate button. Click OK and fill up in this area. Okay. So for this hatch associate was off and this hatch associate was on, right? So what is the difference? Can you imagine what is the difference over here? Okay, let me tell you. So with one example, I'm going to explain you. For example, you can assume this hatch as a ice cube and this hatch as a liquid water. So ice cube have its own boundary. Ice cube is not able to change its shape, but water is flexible, right? In whatever bucket we fill that water, it will take that type of shape. So this H is like a water liquid and this H is like a solid ice cube, right? So what will happen? Select your object and I'm going to modify that object. See, this H is not going to change. We have to change it manually in that case. But here, select your object and change your object position. Your hatch will automatically change. So this hatch doesn't carry any boundary. Focus on my word. This hatch have not any doesn't carry any boundary, any proper boundary. It depends on our object. So whatever shape our object will take, our hatch will also take that shape, right? But this hatch have its own boundary. So whenever I am going to change the shape of my object, this hatch may not affect, right? It has its own boundary. So that's the difference in associate. So when you use associate button, your hatch will be dependent on your boundary. But if you turn off your associate option, your after you complete your hatch tool, your hatch will be independent from your object. It will not depended on your object. So that's the associate option. And last option we have is annotative. Annotative is a quite different tool. So I will give you one small assignment to you today from my side, and that is annotative. See, I'm going to show you how this annotative tool works, and you have to find the reason why we have this tool. Okay, so hatch setting and here we have annotative button. So click on annotative, turn on this annotative, and I'm going to fill this hatch inside this rectangle and press enter. Okay, so this is without annotative hatch and this is with annotative hatch. When I put my crosshair on this hatch, see, we have nothing. But when I come on this hatch, we are having a triangular symbol at my crosshair, right? And that is our annotative symbol. So annotative is nothing but a scale that apply on your object. So annotative scale you will get in the status bar. See, over here we have annotative options. If you don't have, just go to the last option, and here you will get the customize. So turn on this annotation visibility, auto scale, and annotation scale, right? So you have to turn on these three options. Make sure your both options are on, and now change your scale. Let's say 1 gem 2. See, that annotative hatch is going to change. The scale of annotative hatch is going to change. 1 gem 4, 2 gem 1. So the actual scale of this hatch is, just select it, you will get 0.03. So here I am going to choose 1 gem 2. So the actual scale of this hatch is 0.03, but again it's scaled 1 gem 2. That means now it have 0.06. This is actual scale. So this scale and this scale, both scale are multiplied for this object. So in AutoCAD, now listen to me carefully. In AutoCAD, we have four types of object which have these annotative facilities. Which are they? I am going to show you. First, we have text. See, go to the text style, ST, and here we have annotative option. See, so we can create a annotative text also. For example, let we press multi-text. So here is our multi-text, and we are going to turn on this annotative option. Okay, and going to type. Okay, so this is also a annotative text. See, we are getting that triangular symbol over here, like this hatch. So what will happen, whenever whatever scale we are going to change over here will apply on all the annotative object. Say 1 gem 1. See, our text is also going to reduce, and this hatch is also going to decrease in size. Let's say 1 gem 4. This text height is increased, the hatch is also increased, right? So you already know two objects. One is text, second one is hatch. Now third one is your block that we haven't covered yet. B, enter, B for block. And in the block you will also get, in the behavior panel, here we have annotative option. So you can turn on this option, and you are able to create a annotative block, right? Just turn off that. Okay, cancel it. We will discuss about block in our next some classes, but this is our third object which have annotative facility. And fourth and last object we have in the AutoCAD, and that is dimension. So we are able to create annotative dimension. Say go to the D, enter dimension style, and here we have annotative dimension style. Click on that, set as current and close. Now I'm going to specify one dimension for this. Okay, it is too small, it's not readable. So let me modify this. Two 2.5 arrow size 2.5 line should be 1.25 0.625. Okay, and close. Okay, now this text is also properly visible, right? See, we are going to change this annotation scale 1 gem 2. This text is also decreased, right? This arrow size, this text size, this text is also reduced, and this h is also reduced. So in now one question for you. You have to find the reason why we have this thing. What is the facility? We have 4 objects in AutoCAD. One is dimension, text, hatch, and block. These are the 4 objects we have who have annotative facilities, right? And why they have? That is my question. So clear up to this point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or confused?
No, sir.
Okay, so clear about this hatch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me discuss this hatch in detail again. We have some more options for this hatch. Uh, okay, so go to the hatch. Before we go to the hatch, let me break this geometry. So using trim tool, I am going to trim it out. So we have open boundary over here. See, this is open area, right? And I'm going trying to fill hatch over here. Hatch setting and add pick points and click over here. See, we have one notice that a close boundary cannot be determined. That means we do not have close boundary, and this thing may happen sometimes. It is not necessary that it AutoCAD will show you also. Okay, sometimes he is providing us that we have problem over here, sometimes may not, right? So don't depend on this. See, this time he have annotated that we have open area over here, we have problem over here with these red circles. Okay, so now what to do? So we have a 2 option over here. First, hatch setting, and our first option is tolerance, right? So here you can provide some tolerance that up to this much value, that gap is acceptable. If we have bigger gap than that value, then it is not acceptable. So let me type 5 over here. Up to 5 mm it is fine, we will accept that gap. Okay, so in the tolerance I have write 5 units. Click on add pick points and again go to your boundary and click over here. So now he is giving us one notice that this boundary is not close, but we have 2 options: continue hatch or do not hatch. Why we have this option? Because whatever open area is there is going to cover in our tolerance limit. That's why we have these 2 options. So continue hatch. For example, over here we are going to open this boundary for around 7 or 8 mm. So we have bigger gap than that. So again hatch setting. So our tolerance limit is 5 mm. Try to hatch in this. So again we have notice that continue hatch in your area or not. Let me increase this gap again. Hatch setting, turn off this annotative. See, we have one notice that a close boundary cannot be determined. That means whenever our gap is above our tolerance limit, we do not have that option that continue hatch or not. Okay. Now one more option. For example, we have a gap within limit, and now I'm going to hatch in that area, but I also want to create one new boundary for my object. So we have option boundary retention over here. See, boundary retention. This option will create a new boundary for our hatch. So click on retain boundary option and we will create a boundary with polyline tool. So rectangle is a polyline, right? So we are using polyline tool. Click on add pick points, select this area and continue this hatch. So here we have two things created. See, let me move this hatch. Move, select this hatch, enter, move it up. So this is our hatch, and as you notice over here, our gap is filled. Actually, our gap is not filled. Entire new object is created on that object. So move, again clicking on this object and move it downward. So this is our actual object, our older object. See, so whenever you turn on this boundary retention option, it will hatch will going to create a new boundary for you. So make sure that your option, this option is off. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever area that you are going to fill, for example, by mistake, I forgot to turn off this button, right? I forgot that, and I'm going to fill hatch in this. So what will happen? I have twice circle over here, and this may create error or confusion in my 3D modeling. For example, I'm going to model this thing in a 3D. So I'm going to use this sketch over there. So that thing may create some problem over there, right? So always turn off your option when you use it or when you don't need that, right? Otherwise it will create new boundary for your healed boundary for your healed boundary also. See, we have a complete boundary over here, still we have new boundary. That is why. And then next option is hatch edit. If you want to edit your existing hatch, then we have hatch edit tool. Enter, select your hatch, and you will get this hatch edit dialog box again back. You can change your color, your scale, angle, and all the parameters. Accept these options. Sorry. See, over here we have hatch that we have selected is not carrying any boundary. So if you want to create a new boundary for that, we have option over here, recreate boundary. See, so if you have some hatch without boundary, then you can create a new boundary from that hatch geometry. So click on recreate boundary. So with which tool you want to create, choose polyline, and you want associate or not. So say yes if you want and say no if you don't. So we have boundary and our h is associate on our boundary. See, we do not have h boundary. And now if you change your boundary, your h is also going to change because it's associate. And also we have gradient. So click on h, enter, setting, t, enter. Instead of this h, if you want to fill up colors, so go to this option, gradient. So here we can fill up colors also in AutoCAD. If you want single color, then click on one color. So other color will be black or white. If you put it at center, then it will be removed. Okay. And if you want two colors, then you can use two different colors. And these are the shadings we have. You can choose any shadings. For example, I want to create like a glass, right? So we can use a little gray and white. Where is the white? So this thing may represents like a glass. So there is a glass maybe. Whenever you are creating a window, door, so you can place this type of gradient. Go to the edge pick boundaries, continue. It will fill like this. You can also place H on gradient. Again H, instead of solid, let we choose this brick pattern with red color here. See, we have two things, H and gradient. So in this way we can do some combinations in our drawing and provide a proper annotation with text and H. Last we have dimension that we discuss in our next class. So you will get a complete knowledge about 2D drawing. Then in next class we are going to learn how to create a complete drawing sheet using dimension tables. So how to create your table, what is block. Yes, we will discuss about block also over there. So that's it for today. Now if you have any query or question regarding any topic about today or about our last session, then you can ask me. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any question?
Also fine.
So how was our today's class?
Nice, sir.
Good.
Good.
So I hope you all understood everything
Yes, sir.
or confused in any topic.
No, sir.
Okay.
Almost completed.
So, sir, after doing the drawing, if any confusion is there, we'll ask.
Sure, definitely. Let's have a small quick revision of our today's session. First, we discuss about move, copy, rotate, scale, and then trim and extend, right? So we discuss about our modification tool. Then next we discuss about text, where we cover two types of text, simple text and multi-text. Multi-text may in multi-text we get a multi-text editing text formatting dialog box. this one, which is almost similar with our WordPad environment. If you don't like these options, we have a ribbon bar also. You will get all the options over here, but this format is like familiar with our WordPad. That's why I'm using this. See, if you are not getting this text formatting dialog box, you will find that in over here. Go to the more, go to the editor setting and turn on this show toolbar. This is your text formatting toolbar. Go to the more, editor setting, show toolbar, right? So in the multi-text, we have facility to change the text style as well as we can change the text format, font, height, and all the other parameters. So we have so many facilities over here. Also, we have standard alignment over here: top left, top center, top right, middle left, middle center, middle right, and the bottom three one. Okay. And also we have symbols and the color and all. So we have so much facility in our multi-text. And we also discuss about simple text. For the simple text, we have to create a text style. So we discuss about text style next. St, enter. So you have to remember this thing as a style text, St. If you type ts over here, then it will be your table style. Okay, and we didn't cover this thing yet. This will be in our next class. So type st for text style. Then we create a new text style and we apply on the, we set that as a current and we apply on our simple text also. Then we discuss about the mirror thing, right, for text and for the object also. Then we discuss hatch tool and also hatch edit tool. So that's it, we have done today. Now still we have 10 minutes more. So if you have any question, then you can ask me. So you all understood very well, right? I am assuming that.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir. But if we'll have any doubts, we'll let you know.
Have you write all the short keys, or I should repeat?
Yes, sir, you can repeat.
Yes, please note down. M for move, CO for copy, RO for rotate, SC for scale, O for offset, MI for mirror, DT for simple text. Then we have T or MT. We have two shortkeys for multi-text. Then for text edit, you can double click on the text directly, or we haven't any shortkey, just type text edit, text edit. Okay. Then we discuss about Q text, quit text, right? Q text, Q text. So quit text to hide our text, and also mir text, mirror text. That's an option for mirror purpose. It's not a tool, right? Mirtex is not a tool, it's just a condition, it's just a option. Yes or no, like that. Then we discuss about hatch. So the short key of hatch is H, simple H. So these are the short keys for today. So our next class will be on Monday, 18th May, right? And you will get one assignment for today also. So check it, and also try to create that objects whatever available in your assignment, and see you in our next class. So now if you haven't any question, then I'm going to end this call. Do you have any question?
Sir, I have one
No,
question.
sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, how to submit our drawing for the assignments? Should we convert the DWG file to PDF?
No, just attach your AutoCAD file in your mail.
Just as DWG.
Yes, that DWG file, AutoCAD file, just directly attach that file.
I have converted it into PDF because my DWG file was not getting shared. Yesterday's assignment, I mean last class's assignment.
Okay. Now see, regarding this saving to save button, I am going to tell you one thing. It's very important, and we have a good facility over here in AutoCAD software only. You will not get these options in other software. Whenever you save your project, see, I am going to save this file. Click on save, choose your location, whatever your name, but over here we have last option, files of type. From here you have to select AutoCAD 2000 LT2000 drawing.dwg, right? You have to select AutoCAD 2000 slash LT2000 dwg format. So what is this format? This is a file format of AutoCAD 2000 version, right? So once you save your file in your AutoCAD 2000 version and you mail to your other friends or other colleagues, and he might have a lower version, then also he is able to open your drawing. So you can save your drawing to the lower version. These are the lower versions. See, 2000, 2004, 2007, 2010 and 2013. These are the versions we have. Now for example, I have 2020 and I have created one drawing, and I save my drawing in my current version, 2020 version, and I mail you that drawing, but by chance you have 2015 version, older version of AutoCAD, right? So you are not able to view that drawing, you are not able to open that drawing because you have older version. So we are able to save our file into older version also. So choose 2000 version over here, this is the oldest version. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
good. So see you in our next class on Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome.